Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome here to a Friday. Finally made it out here to the weekend. 8:46 a.m. California time. March 14th, 2025 is the date. Latest activity on the earthquake 3D globe shows a 4.8 here across the Mediterranean region. We'll check out earthquake activity here in just a minute. I want to cover storm activity here today. Got a pretty serious weather event unfolding here later this afternoon into the evening hours with a moderate risk here for some severe weather across this area of the Midwest region. Goodness, talking about some tornado activity as well. That is a big deal right here. When you look at the map and see those type of colors in the hatched area, we're looking at some major, potentially large, long-tracked tornadoes this evening. And some of them can be large, too, up to an EF5. That's the highest level on the tornado scale. Got about 10% or greater probability of an EF2 to EF5 within about 25 miles of a point here within this hatched area. Now, of course, you don't have to be in the hatched area to get a tornado. It can be anywhere within this 2% and 5% zone as well. But this is the main area of focus where all the ingredients are coming together to produce that severe weather and potential tornado activity as well. Aside from tornadoes, you might have some wind that could do some broader damage out there. Instead of localized, we're talking about a huge wind threat. It's been a while since I've seen a 45% chance here of wind damage from these thunderstorms that have formed up. These would be straight line winds, 80 to 100 miles per hour is what they're forecasting here with some of these straight line winds within this area. Also some big time hail threats. So pretty much all severe weather options are on the table here today. Around the Memphis area, St. Louis area, Springfield, anywhere out here in this region today, you got to be on guard for that severe weather. It's I think a serious deal here. We got some daytime heating occurring in this area. That's going to help fuel the storms later on this evening. Let me show you guys the model here, what it may look like a little bit later on this afternoon into the evening. This is about 6 p.m. or so. Notice these storms starting to fire up here in a line fashion across that moderate risk area. That's up in the Missouri region. It's looking at the possible track lines here. This is the helicity map showing where the long track tornadoes could be occurring. And there's quite a few of them. It's just not limited to one. We got a potential major event about ready to unfold, and that will increase this evening, linger on through the evening, and then tomorrow as well as that severe weather shifts a little bit further to the south. But as we put this model into motion here, well, into the next hour frame here, you can see, man, that's looking a little scary here. And of course, tomorrow the event's going to be further down south. So just be on guard here. Here's today, tomorrow's outlook. Again, the weather shifts much further south, but that also includes a huge tornado threat as well. 15% chance, pretty much the same as what we are looking at today for today's forecast. 45% chance there of seeing some strong damaging winds as well, up to around 100 miles per hour. That that in itself can do more damage on a broad scale across a large region compared to a localized tornado. But today is not the day to be weather complacent. Again, that's tomorrow, and the following day the severe weather lightens up a little bit and shifts much further there to the east. But for today, got to be on guard. Keep an eye on things. Keep your weather radio handy. Here's the latest model run that just came in. This is a GFS model showing that low pressure system pulling in, tapping into all that warm, moist air that's coming in from the Gulf. And that's just going to stir up things later and into the evening time period there. So just, like I say, be on guard, folks. It's kind of a serious deal out there today. All right. Let's see what we got here for earthquake activity real quick. Anything major going on out here? Got a little bit of uptick here across the Japan region once again from today. It looks like latest a 4.2, 101 miles deep underneath Japan here. That's a pretty deep earthquake, more likely associated here with the Japan Trench. can see it quite nicely here on this model. Still watching the Nankai Trough over here. That's been underneath quite a bit of strain here recently. That's an area that can get some megaquake activity, and it's been a little while since we've seen any movement on that as far as full release of pressure. Some further activity here across the Philippines, Manila region southward. A couple earthquakes from yesterday, a couple from today. The latest of 4.5 here north of the Molucca Sea, down towards the southern end here of the Philippine Trench. Looking at that 4.8, let's see if the USGS is reporting that. They are not. So let me run over here to the Santorini area, see if we can see if there's any earthquakes showing up on the stations there. That one's still offline, so we've got to use this one. It looks like that was the 4-pointer, just barely showing up there on that seismograph station. Looks to be a 4.6 over here. Is that right? Across the Crete area of Greece, much further south here. Right down here is where that 4-pointer struck, right along the plate boundary. 3-pointer there in that same region. Looking to see what we got here for the Santorini area. 411 earthquakes. The count's kind of going up a little bit. That means we're getting more earthquake activity on a daily count. So let me check out the geophysics site here from Greece. And we'll see what's going on real quick as far as earthquake activity goes. Perfect time for a train to go by. Never fails. I had a, wow, that looks like a bunch of earthquake activity all at once there. Earlier last night here. That, goodness. If that is indeed earthquake activity, that's a rapid amount of earthquake activity all at once. It almost looks like some type of magma intrusion there going on across that area of Santorini, Greece. Let me check out this other seismograph station here, see if I can pick it up as well. Yeah, see, it picked up something as well, but not quite as strongly. Whatever was taking place there is directly underneath that center caldera, center portion of that cone across the Santorini area. So got to watch that. It's a little interesting activity there. Let me see if anything else got picked up over here outside the area. Not so much. Some of it did, but it does look like most of the activity is directly underneath this area as far as that earthquake activity goes. So we'll continue to watch that. As far as the Santorini area goes, it's just, an ongoing event, and I still don't think we're over yet with whatever is transpiring underneath this area. Earthquake down here across the Guatemala area, inland into the Middle America Trench here, 4.4 miles deep. It would be nice if they added the names out here once again. Remember the older maps? They used to have the names of the trench zones out here, and I don't think it's on. Not on that one, not on the oceanic crust. You can see it quite nicely there, the Middle America Trench. It's not on the train map. It's not on the street map. Satellite map, not on that one either. So hopefully they add that on there, because it's kind of neat to see, the trench zones and whatnot, Puerto Rico Trench and whatnot. Otherwise, we're just, just got to go off of what they have here. But that's the Middle America Trench right here, 4.4. Just about 60 miles deep here into that subduction zone. Check out the earthquake 3D globe here real quick. There's that 4.8 around Crete. Some older activity from yesterday up around the Nepal area. There's a handful of those newer quakes around Japan. Keep an eye there on the Nankai Trough. That's this area right here. Some further larger movement there, 5.4 around the, let's see where that's at, right about here. Out in the Indonesia area. Early this morning, 16 miles deep for that 5-pointer. I think that may be one of the largest quakes here in the last 24 hours. Let's see. It is. It's the largest quake here in the last 24 hours around the Indonesia Islands area. No 6-pointer here in the last couple days, but still waiting on that 8-pointer, right? I say that because, we should have seen an 8-pointer by now. Last one was back in 2021, so a little bit of time has passed. I'm thinking here the longer we go without an 8-pointer, the likelihood of a 9-pointer stirs up. Don't want that out here. Last one was back in 2011. The Great Japan earthquake out there. That was a big one. New Zealand area, some older movement from last night. Still getting a lot of activity here into the Tonga Trench. Lacking earthquake activity here. I think this is day number 5 here of no earthquake activity within this zone across the Papua New Guinea area eastward to about Fiji. So watch this region here. It's building up for sure. No earthquake activity here in the last few days, and that's quite odd for that to do that. California region, let's go ahead and check out, see what's going on out here in California. A lot of rain right now. It's pouring down here outside of Chico earlier this morning. Still raining out here. One earthquake today up around the Prattville, California area. That's around Mount Lassen, which sits up here. This is underneath Lake Almanor here. Not a big earthquake, but one that's above 2.5. Aside from that, general small microquake activity there across Northern California. Really nothing major going on up there across the Seattle area for now. The Bay Area of San Francisco, a couple smaller microquakes, but really no swarming going on, no unusual activity to note. Same for the Southern California region. One earthquake there from yesterday, above 2.5. The rest of these all small microquakes, mainly on the San Jacinto fault zone, up against the San Andreas fault here. Yellowstone National Park, nothing showing up there on the map. Out in the oil fields of Texas and Oklahoma, a handful of earthquakes out there today, it looks like, and from yesterday. Nothing going on across the New Madrid seismic zone. Got one earthquake out here around Marshville, North Carolina, 2-pointer from late last night. See if there's anything else happening out here. Alaska looks like it's taken a little break from all the earthquake activity up there. Seen a lot of unusual quake activity up here between Russia and Alaska. That looks like it's died off right now. The Atlantic Ocean, pretty quiet, nothing major going on here. Let's go ahead and give a quick glance here at the Iceland area. It's something I'm going to need to start checking here quite often because we're at I think a breaking point here pretty soon where we should see an eruption return to the Svartsengi area over the past, well, this is the past 24 hours here, 171 earthquakes in the area, but if you go back the last 2 days or so, there was a huge earthquake swarm out here with hundreds of earthquakes. And normally after that takes place, we'll see things elevated out here northward. Just enough push and rift boundary activity to further escalate things up here around the Grindavik area and the Svartsengi region. The power plant sits here, the Svartsengi power plant, the Blue Lagoon as well over here. But earthquake activity in this region a little bit directly underneath Grindavik here. Looks like 3 kilometers or so. There's another one about 2 kilometers. A little bit of activity here around the craters area. But just kind of watching this, seeing how it plays out. We'll go check out the Iceland news site here, the meteorological office, they call it. Oh, that's a little small on the words here. Let's see, what do we got? What's going on here? How come it's frozen? No news? No news is good news? Probably not. I wonder what's going on with that. Looks a little off. This is from yesterday here, the earthquake. They were talking about the earthquake swarm there. Let's see if it's working. A little slow out there. It's not me. It looks like it might just be this site here. Something's going on with it. Yeah, it's not working for me. Yeah, looks like something going on there. So we'll have to come back and check on it. But I can show you guys here the Svartsengi area, the GPS measurements here. This has been up and up and up and up in terms of inflation there across the area. And in fact, this is the highest buildup of magma underneath the area of all of the previous eruptions here since the end of 2023, when it first started here back in November. Not 2024, but 2023 here. So our last eruption ended early December, I believe, of 2024. And we've just been going up and up and up in terms of inflation out here. So we're at a breaking point, I think, because by now, we had, if you look at the past previous levels here, the inflation charts didn't look anything like this. I would show you the other one, but they're news agencies offline, it looks like. But either way, I think we're getting close here to seeing maybe some type of new fissure activity opening up around the region. Hopefully, it's nowhere near Grindavik, but there's always that possibility. Space weather activity. We'll go check this out real quick. Got a neat little feature out on the eastern limb. Little prominence eruption, it looks like. As far as sunspot and sun flare activity, looking at the last couple days here of sun flare, mainly C flare activity. Really nothing in the M flare category. But it's still looking a little up and down here in terms of instability and unstable sunspots there. So let's see what we have today. 4028 is the newest member here on the sun, at least on the Earth-facing side of the sun. And it's not super impressed with it, but it's about the only area on the visible disk here that's got any potential for some flaring. Ever since this region came off the eastern limb within view, things have been crackling a little bit on the solar flare chart, mostly C flare activity, but as always, might see an M flare or so. I don't think we'll see any X flare activity. It doesn't look all that complex there, but maybe an M flare. These guys, I don't know why they bumped it up to a 10, but that's their forecasting. I'm still keeping mine at a 1%, 1% or less. I just don't see it. M flare, probably that's reasonable, about 50% chance or so. But the X flare, I'm really not seeing that with that sunspot or any sunspots out there. No major auroras there in the forecast. A little bit of unsettled conditions here over the last couple nights, but looks like things are calming back down there. A glance at the next 5 close approach asteroids here. See if anything major is going on. There's a little close one there. 120-foot size asteroid. This is newly discovered. 285,000 miles here. That's somewhat close. If you think about the Earth-Sun, or the Earth and the Moon distance here, the average is about 239,000 miles. So above it, but then again, this that changes. The Earth and the Moon there kind of goes back and forth there with the distance. It's a pretty close one, but not super close. 120 foot. Aside from that, folks, seismograph stations out there look pretty quiet. Not a whole lot going on right now. The big deal, of course, is going to be the severe weather ramping up. I hope everyone has a safe day out there, but that's a lot of coverage area for severe weather potential. Man, in the moderate zone alone, that's over 10 million people. 19 million in the enhanced area. Slight risk, 17 million people. That's a lot of population coverage there, so just be on guard. It is Friday. Most of this is going to happen late evening or late afternoon into the early evening and overnight. So just have a plan there and stay weather aware. If you don't like the weather, I get it, right? But today is not the day to be complacent. Make sure you have your good weather app to have on your phone is Radar Scope, if you know how to use the radars and whatnot. But if you want a simplified format, this is Radar Scope out here. But if you want a simplified weather format, weather app, I use Weather Underground, and it sends you notifications if there's a tornado warning in your area or nearby. if there's any special weather statements or severe thunderstorm warnings, it pops up on your phone. You got to make sure you enable the notification systems there. But for the most part, even if there's a tornado warning in your area, at least here on the iPhone that I use, it will pop up regardless if you have a weather app or not. But it is kind of nice to have the Weather Underground app on the phone, because then you can, you get notified of developing stuff around your area. And today is one of those days you want to be aware of the weather. So just be on guard. Probably going to be watching a couple storm chasers out here on YouTube. One of my favorite storm chasers there, Reed Timmer. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people love him. But he does have some good views. And we'll definitely probably be watching him throughout the day today and the evening. So have a good one, folks. Member drawing, by the way, is coming up. I'm going to try to do it today. I got a pretty busy day, and even busier here for the next week after today. So if I don't get it done today, it's probably going to be a week before I'm able to get it done. So we'll try to squeeze that in today as far as the member drawing goes. Yeah. Have a good day, folks. We will see you guys back out here a little bit later on this evening for the Friday night update. Stay safe out there and be prepared.